the kind you wear a tie. Button up from 9 to 5. I tried that life but said goodbye. I'm not always polite, but I get the job done. Who says the world can never be run? I'm simply unprofessional. Simply unprofessional. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Simply Unprofessional. I'm your host, Webby, and joining me tonight we got Devin.
Hey everybody, I'm Devin. How's it going?
Devin, you always sound like you're like just done with everything and so short on energy.
No, I'm fine.
Oh. Is it because when you get too excited I tell you to dial it back a bit?
I mean, who knows? It could be that.
Have I ruined
excitement for me?
The excitement?
Maybe.
I'm sorry.
It made you call in a second.
Huh?
Alright, I'm back.
Oh.
I just dropped out because you were being really like breaking up. Like you were like real choppy.
Oh, yeah, I mean it's Discord, probably.
Yeah, Discord's terrible.
It is. So, listeners, if you guys know of any other call /
You're really robotic-y for me.
You're robotic-y. I mean, you're really not. I don't know. How bad is it?
It's going in and out. Are you in like the yellow or the red for the server?
Let me open up Discord. I'm in the green.
Me too. It was just for some reason you were really robotic there.
Well, I don't know. I bet you it's Craig. Fucking asshole.
Could be Craig.
I mean, tell me if it gets too bad. We'll just fucking switch over to Skype. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, you've gone back to normal now, so.
All right,
cool.
So, Devin, one thing before we get into today's episode. You sent me a message yesterday, and then you tried calling me, which I'm sorry I missed your Facebook call.
It's fine.
Me and Dad were I think at the time watching Supergirl. We were trying to get caught up on, at least I think I was watching 2 weeks ago, so I had 2 weeks of shows to catch up on.
Did you see the one with Lex?
Yes, I did. That was the last one I watched.
Slightly disappointing.
I mean, meh.
Honestly, this entire Supergirl season has been slightly disappointing for me. But
okay, put it this way. My theory on Lex, I'm okay. I'm not gonna say anything about the actor. I don't mind the actor. I need to see him play Lex a little bit more to gauge a true opinion on it. I am slightly disappointed because, I mean, when I think Lex Luthor, I think Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
Or I think that's his name, right? From Smallville?
That's his name.
Yeah. I mean, they could have just gotten him. Like, shit.
Bringing back all the other Smallville people.
Right?
And various other shows, like in Flash.
Who'd they bring back in Flash?
The new cicada chick, if you're caught up.
I am. I just watched that one last night, too.
Yeah, the new cicada chick. She played, what's her fucking face in Smallville? Hold on.
I know she looked familiar. I couldn't pinpoint from where.
Sarah Carter, she played in Smallville. She was Elisa Baker.
No, I don't remember.
I think Clark's first girlfriend, I think, in Smallville.
Okay.
She got killed by Tim.
All right. That's like saying she got killed by Larry. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Sure.
Right. She was a chick that could teleport.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I do remember her now. I mean, you should have led with that one instead of, she's the chick who got killed by Tim.
I forgot her powers.
That's fine. Larry! So anyway, you had sent me a message saying that Satan almost took you yesterday.
Yep.
And then I messaged you back today saying that I wanted to talk about this on the podcast, and I said that Stan almost took you. Which, I mean, I'm fine with either statement, I guess.
Maybe Satan is Stan?
Maybe. So let's hear this story. How did Satan almost get you yesterday?
Well, Satan almost got me. Let's set the mood first. So, in the hospital I work at, I was called to the basement to take care of the central pharmacies in the basement
and the morgue.
Actually, no, the morgue is actually 3 floors below my office.
I thought the morgues are always in the basement.
Nope, they're not. 3 floors below my office is where the morgue is. See it every morning. Anyway, so I was called down to the basement. I hate going in the basement. I only go in the basement for 2 reasons. One is to go to the pharmacy if I need to go down there, which is like once a month maybe. And then usually I just try to call down there if I don't have to go down there because I hate going in the basement. And the other reason why I go in the basement is just coming in the morning. Sometimes if I don't feel like going in one other door, I can go in one door and then walk down to the basement and just pop up basically in my office. Mm-hmm. Basically, like right by the elevator by my office. But only 2 reasons why I go down there. I'm going to preface this. There's a mile and a half worth of tunnels underneath the hospital. I only go to 2 spots, and I only access those 2 spots one way. I do not know my way around the basement at all. And you can easily get turned around in circles. Okay, preface that. So I went to the basement. I said, okay, do what I had to do. Now I'm listening to creepypastas. Webby, you familiar with what creepypastas are?
Yes.
We talked about this before.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm listening to creepypastas while I'm doing this. It is specifically I'm listening to No End House. Heard it before. Felt like listening to it again. So went downstairs to the pharmacy, took care of that problem, went back to the elevator. Now, the elevator is probably. Went downstairs to the elevator, came back to the elevator, pushed a button. Elevator was taking a long time. I said, "Oh, there's stairs right there. I'll take the stairs." So I got on the stairs, walked up the stairs. The elevator is probably about 30 feet to 40 feet behind the elevator. So logically, I would come out 30 feet to 40 feet behind the elevator, like, okay, walk out, walk straight, make a left. I should be where the elevator takes me out.
No, okay? I forget. Is it you who doesn't like elevators to begin with?
I mean, I'm not a fan of elevators. They don't bother me.
So you're not like me with escalators.
Elevators, I will ride an elevator if it's the last resort. I'm not gonna I'm not the person okay, I'm not gonna jog up 70 flights of stairs if the elevator will get me there. I'm not gonna complain. Right. If it's oh, I could take the stairs to get there, I'll just take the stairs 99% of the time. Just because I've been trapped in elevators before and I hate it. Now I was okay, moving on, going back to upstairs. Blah blah blah. Open the door. Now, this was basement. Right above the basement is the ground floor. I was in the East Tower. The East Tower ground floor is the old ICU. They built a new ICU. The entire ward is abandoned now. There's nobody there. Nobody. Occasionally we'll get somebody that cuts through to go to the other side. Very rarely, there's nobody there. So I come out. Okay, I walk straight about 30 feet, hook a left, where the elevator should be, or at least in my head, logically thinking it out, okay, this is where the elevator should be. There's a wall. I'm okay, that's not right. So then I go back the other way, walk a little bit more. I'm okay, maybe this left. No. Okay, this here. I'm looking all around, and then I realize, again, each ground's abandoned. It's abandoned and cleared out. All the exit signs have been taken down. Everything's been taken down. It's dark, so I'm walking east ground, and I'm okay, I don't know where I am. So I'm like walking East Ground looking for a way out. Now, let me preface this about the hospital. If there are certain stairwells in the hospital that if you go in the stairwell, if you don't have a master key, you're locked in the stairwell. The door locks behind you. And then you need either to swipe or have a key to get in, which I can swipe in, but this particular part of it did not have swipes. So I open, looking around. Okay,
Swiper, no
okay.
swiping.
So,
Right.
and we only have 2 keys in my department that we share. My manager has one, and we have one that like all the techs share. So I didn't have it on me. So I'm walking, and I'm like, okay, nope. Opening up this door, nope. That's a closet, nope. Finally, I see an exit sign. I'm like, thank God, exit. So I walk. I'm sort of lost in circles. I walk, hook a left, open the door, step through the door. Didn't like register what was on the other side of the door before I let go of the handle. Let go of the handle of the door. Door closes behind me. I'm like, I look around the room. As soon as I walked in, I was like, well, I'm dead. Because it's a fucking pitch black room. It was a stairwell, but it had not been used in forever. They turned the lights off in the stairwell. It was pitch black. I hear the door close behind me. I'm like, well, in my head, before I even turn around, I say to myself, I really hope this door doesn't lock. Because if this door locks, I don't know where I'm at in relation to the front of the building. I don't get service down here in my phone. And this ward is abandoned for the most part. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. Flick the light on my phone, look around. There are stairs. The only stairs lead down back into the basement. I'm like, okay. I look at the door. I reach the door handle. I jiggle the door handle. I'm like, yep, it's locked. It's not one of those ones where it's like a window in the door. It's just a door. I'm like, well, all right, it's locked. And then like I have like a brief moment of panic where I'm like, okay, I could go downstairs. I could go downstairs right now and try to find a way around the basement. Keep in mind, like I said, it's 1.5 miles of tunnels down there. I only go down there in 1 of 2 spots. If I get put out in the middle of the basement, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be. I'm just going to wander around the tunnels. To give you an idea how confusing the basement is, there was a homeless guy living in the basement for 6 months, sleeping on top of pipes that nobody caught.
Well, okay.
They only caught him. The officers only caught him when he came up. He would come during the day, like go in the bathroom, wash up, and then just hang out in the hospital all day, like at the cafeteria and the gift shop, and just hang out all day, right?
I mean, that's kind of an ingenious plan.
It is. He even stole one of the mattresses off of one of the beds.
Nice.
And put it on top of pipes. And put it on top of the pipes downstairs, because like you have these pipes in the ceiling, right? These big industrial fucking pipes that like natural gas and all the water and shit flows through. So he's sleeping on those. Above, so he's not in eye level.
I mean, you could have asked him for directions.
Well, they caught him. This was a few months ago. But I'm saying because somebody saw him going back downstairs and was like, that guy's doesn't work here. So they followed him down and saw he went in the basement, and then they called security. Security came and got him. But yeah, so keep that in mind. But he was down there for 6 months. So keep that in mind. So I'm like, okay, if I get dropped in the middle of this basement, I don't get reception in the basement, I have no idea where I am. There's only 3 things in the basement. Custodial, pharmacy, and shipping and receiving, which I know where that is. I had no idea where that is in relation. I know where pharmacy is, I know where shipping and receiving is, but I have no idea where they are in relation to me.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I don't want to go back downstairs because I have a better chance of finding a way out of East Ground than I do basement. But I'm locked in this dark stairwell. And I'm like, and then my mind's like, well, on the other hand, I could also open that door, and that's just the door to hell, and I die. Satan could be coming after me. It could be. Like, I open the door.
And at this point, there's no stairs going up in this stairwell.
No, it's just down. Just one. It's like A stairwell that just goes straight down.
with an ominous orange glow at the bottom.
And
Just
you're
some
not
evil
wrong. You're
laughter.
not wrong. There's just an exit. There's just an exit sign. They're just like giving off this reddish glow down the stairs, like around the corner. But other than that, the room was pitch black with the flashlight I have. So I'm like, all right. Well, it's even more weird because if I look straight up, like I could see 7 floors straight up. Like there could have been stairs there at some point. I don't know. But yeah, no. I'm like, all right. So I start pounding on the door. It doesn't work, obviously. So then I'm pulling on the door, and thank God. I was like, okay. I'm like, I could do this. I could go down in the basement, walk around till I see another stairwell, pop back up somewhere on East Ground, or hopefully out of East Ground, and like just East Tower, or like Main. That'd be amazing if I pop up like Main Ground. I know where I am on Main Ground, and pray to God, because like the hospital is broken up into 5 pieces. It's Lord's, where I'm at. Then you have Chapel. Then you have Main, or then you have West. Then you have Main, West, East. Or Main, West, Main, East. There you go. So I'm like, well, hopefully I pop them on one of the other sides and then see what happens. And I was like, But luckily I'm pulling on the door. The door finally opens back up, and I'm just lost. And again, keep in mind, I'm listening to a horror podcast the entire time this is going on.
You didn't pause it?
No, I didn't.
Well,
I'm just like, this is what this is gonna happen now. This is it. Like in my head, though, before I even turned around back to the door, like in my whole head, I had the whole conversation. I was like, well, you got me. You fucking got me. Like, I spent my whole life giving life the middle finger. This is life's middle finger back to me. Touche. Too fucking shay. I'm gonna die in a goddamn stairwell. I'm gonna die in a fucking stairwell. So finally, I popped the door back open because like the hydraulic on the door was like old.
right, yeah.
It wasn't very strong. So I popped the door open, thank God. And I got out and I was like, okay, all right. Well, I don't want to go back that way and meet Satan, so I'm going to go this way. And then I wandered around for another 15 minutes, finally found my way out. And then I got out. I was just so stressed out at that point. I was like, it's 2:45. I'm going home. Fuck this.
But
I was packing my shit and left.
But see, we've both watched Lucifer, and what if it was like that?
I mean, if real life Lucifer was as cool as Lucifer is in the show, I'd be down with that. Lucifer, if you're listening, if you are that cool, let me know.
If you are a fan of Simply Unprofessional.
Can you get someone to give us a listen in Russia?
Yes, please. God damn it. We ain't never going to get to Russia, folks. It's never going to happen, Devin. I think at this point, people are like avidly avoiding letting Simply Unprofessional get to Russia because we claimed that if we ever got that Russian listener, we'd retire. But that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
I mean, chances are we wouldn't retire, people. So just get us that Russian vote. Devin will most likely retire.
Maybe.
So, Devin almost met the devil and almost died alone in a dark staircase. I'm sorry, Devin. If you had service, I would, you could have called me, but
It'd been great. I mean, it wouldn't have helped much. I would have sat there, like, "What's up, Webby?" Well,
right. But then
I
would have been with you in the final moments, and I would have been able to hear your gruesome murder.
Right, my gruesome murder, and then you would have been like, "No, Devin's dead." Yes, I can finally go too.
Yes. So, moving from that, we have this week's actual topic. But you know what? Before we get to the topic, since we did kind of housekeeping at the beginning of the episode last week too, we still have that. What is it? The drawing thing that we're doing. So you can go to gleam.io or something. I post a link in the description below. But you can go follow us on our various social media platforms. Like you can go to YouTube and give Distractions Media a follow. You can go to Instagram or Twitter or whatever. And for each one, you get an entry. And on I want to say the 23rd, the drawing is going to end. And then a winner is going to get decided. And the winner receives a Distractions Media 5th anniversary shirt, poster. You get an opportunity to be in a RPG with some of the cast, whoever you want. So yeah. Or if the drawing isn't on the 23rd, I think the deadline is the 23rd and the drawing's on the 25th? Something like that. I don't know. The last 2 weeks we've kind of had Austin here to kind of do all this. But yeah, the link's going to be in the description, people. So go do that. Let's see. I think that's all for housekeeping. It's a very light week this week. Devin.
Yep.
You recommended this Netflix show to me. I started watching it. It was very strange. And then funny. And then strange again.
Yep.
And it just continuously got more and more strange. Very entertaining. And a lot of people have been giving it really good reviews. Like everybody on my Facebook has been blowing up. Oh, blah, blah, blah. So this week we're going to talk about Love, Death, and Robots. I will say, going into this, I knew that they were short episodes. They range anywhere from, 15 to 20 minutes. They some episodes are literally like 15 minutes, others are 17, so on and so forth.
Yep. The running time is between 6 to 17 minutes.
There you go. Going into this, I did not know that this was a Twilight Zone-esque type show where every episode was going to be something different. I thought that they were interlocked somehow, but I very quickly found out that they're not, based off episode 2. I will say right off the bat, one thing that I really appreciate about this, the various artistic styles and animation styles, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was neat. So it's not just different stories being told all with the same animation style. Every episode seems to have a different animation style. And it's I don't want to say refreshing, but that's kind of the word that fits. So so yeah, like episode 1, I mean, as always, folks, there's going to be some spoilers in here, but I haven't even seen all the episodes yet. Going into episode 1 already, though, I thought it was fantastic. I thought, the story was good. I really want to see more of that. And then, near the end, where the one blonde chick, essentially Lady Deathstriked the main girl, with her fingers.
Yep.
As soon as that happened, I was like, "Whoa! I did not see that coming."
Not coming. Nope.
And then as they decided to, continuously bash her head in, and then the big alien thing woke up, I was like, "Bah! I saw that coming, though." Episode 2, fucking fantastic. Again, like I said to you before we started the podcast, I wouldn't mind a full-length movie of the robots from episode 2. It was hilarious. I will say probably not for kids. Depends on how you raise your kids, I guess. But strong language in episode 2. I want to say I liked one of my favorite parts was when they were sitting on the couch studying the cat, and then the cats started moving closer, and they all got like fidgety and like tense, and then it jumped on the one dude's lap, and they convinced them to start petting it, and then the little robot's like, "Well, now you can't stop, or else it'll explode," and then they all moved farther and farther away. That was great. But why don't you tell us about? I mean, you're the one who told me to watch this. How did you come up? Did it just kind of come up on your Netflix feed?
I literally just saw it. I turned on Netflix. I saw it. I was like, oh, what's this? I watched the first episode. I started the second episode. I was like, Webby, yo, watch this. It seems like it's going to be.
Do you have
it was literally an episode and a half in. I was like 20 minutes into the show. I was like, yo, Webby, watch this. This is great SU material.
I mean, it really is. And the thing is, it's like, we would never be able to cover just an individual episode on SU. I mean, like Devin said, they're anywhere from 6 to 20 minutes long. But do you have a favorite episode that comes to mind that you want to talk about? I also really liked the farmer one. Like
that one was really good.
The farmer robots.
Yeah, that was really good, especially like the twist in at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. I like that one a lot. I like that art style too. A lot.
Yeah, because I really thought she fucking blew her husband up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I did too. I thought she blew her husband up, and then it zooms out, and they're on like a different planet.
Yeah, and they're like in they're like in a biodome on another planet.
You know which one I kind of like?
Devin,
in a
we
weird
should
way?
watch Biodome. We should watch
We
and
should
do an
watch
SU
Biodome.
on Biodome.
We should.
God damn it, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Oh no, you know what you do SU on? That new vampire show on Netflix I haven't started watching yet.
Which one?
Vampire Netflix show.
I love Google. Google gives us all the information.
No, I've seen longer of it.
Is it not The Order, is it?
No, it literally just came out like.
Because The Order, that's apparently werewolves, I guess. I don't know what that's all
Let me see. Hold on. Since live action, after it might be The Order. Is it Order? No, it's The Order.
The Order is a horror werewolves teen.
Let me see. Is it The Order?
One season.
I know it. I know it by the look.
Based off of my previous viewing habits on Netflix, it's a 99%
No, not The Order.
match.
Not The Order. Not The Order. That was on my radar too, though, but not The Order. Talking about. See if I can find it. Maybe I can't find it. We will resume this conversation in a moment.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not The Order, but we will resume this conversation in a moment.
So, you were saying something about your...
One of my favorite ones, and I don't know why it was one of my favorite ones, but I loved it so much, was, I love the third one, The Witness. I love the mindfuck that was that one. But
I did not like that one. Like... Okay, I appreciate...
I also like the one with the yogurt. Okay,
yeah. But I mean, yeah, yogurt taking over the world. Who wouldn't love that? But no, okay, so the Witness one, I did not like it. I appreciate the fucking weird-ass twist. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like that could just go around in circles forever. Like, and I don't like it. It makes my anxiety go through the roof. I don't like it.
I think that's what happens is she sees him and then she winds up surviving. He sees her, then he winds up killing her, and then it's just a constant thing over and over again. It's a constant loop.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. And then all those people in the gimp suits. That was creepy. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't care for the animation in that one either.
I fucks with the gimp suits.
Huh?
I fucks with the gimp suits.
No. I don't like it.
You heard it here first, folks. Webby hates gimp suits.
I mean, that's not necessarily true. I mean, I'm not confirming or denying that allegation.
Webby and gimp suits do not mix. He's just mad because that one place didn't have the size that one time.
Listen, you'd be surprised how many places don't have my size. I'm just okay. We're moving on. You know what, Ed Devin? Just because next week we're going to do SU on Disney's Christopher Robin out on Netflix.
Okay.
No, fuck off. That was supposed to be a punishment.
I watch it with my mom. She loves what you got. I'll make her watch it with me.
Have you found your vampire show?
No, just yeah, but
Anyway,
Immortals. There we go.
Immortals?
It came out 2018. It didn't just recently come out. 2018. I just happened to see it recently pop up.
Immortals on Netflix, huh?
Yep.
Is it a movie or a show? It's a show.
It's a show.
It's Turkish.
It's Turkish. It is.
Yo, if we have any listeners in Turkey, how was this movie or this show?
IMDb gave it a 6 out of 10. That's different. That's the wrong one.
It is a 95% match for me, apparently. I don't know.
Sounds about right. Driven by revenge, human-turned-vampire Mia sets out to vanquish Dimitri, a ruthless.
Why are all evil? Hold on. Why are all evil fucking vampires named Dimitri?
That is not true.
I mean, dude, there's a lot of Dimitris, and they're always fucking vampires.
No, there's not.
Oh?
No, there is not. Name one other vampire Dimitri.
That dude in that show.
That dude.
Name
in that
one
show.
good guy Dimitri.
That
dude in that other show.
No, I'm trying to. Was he bad? I'm trying to think. Was he bad? Was he good? Was he bad? I think he was good. I don't think he was bad. Dimitri and Van Helsing. He was a vampire. I'll give you that. But yeah.
No, him a bad boy.
And I'm not gonna count Dimitri in Vampire Academy because he's a Dampier, so he's not really a vampire.
Still, it's associated with vampires. All Dimitris are associated in one way or another with vampires.
Nah.
It's like 6 degrees of vampire.
I mean, there is that one Dimitri in in Underworld, but he's like on the screen for like a second.
Bam, vampires.
That's it. But you like they're all evil vampire overlords. Not really.
I never said overlords. That's giving Dimitri way too much credit. I don't think Dimitri could pull off the overlord. Dimitri's not good enough. He needs to step up his game if he's going to think about overlord status. You heard me. You heard it here first, folks.
I mean, his name's better than Deacon.
Listen, that's true statement. Deacon's a bad name.
Deacon Frost.
Who the hell? Wait, hold on. What do I know that
he
from?
He was the vampire in Blade.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That he fought. Deacon Frost.
Fucking Deacon Frost. Fucking Blade. God, I just recently watched one of those movies. I don't remember.
Blade 1?
I want to say it was Blade 1 that I watched recently.
Blade 1's good. Blade 2?
Meh.
Blade 3?
Triple H.
Blade 3, the only good thing about Blade 3 is Triple H, Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I don't know. It has that hot chick in it.
And yeah, I was getting her and
Jessica Biel.
Yes, and Jessica Biel. That's it. But I mean, like I like the characters. I hate the script.
Yeah.
Like the script is terrible. The characters are good. The script is absolutely terrible.
You know what would have made that movie better?
No.
Jamie Foxx.
Amy Fox. Did Jamie Foxx or Amy Fox?
Jamie Foxx.
Oh, I'm like, who the fuck is Amy Fox? I'm like, trying to put her name. I'm like, who the fuck is Amy Fox?
Why does that sound familiar? Oh, Jamie Foxx.
I also like the one where they fought, who they thought was Dracula. Did you get that far?
In the third? Wait, in which one?
In the cave. The fifth one.
There was a fifth one? How many of these were there?
No. I'm back on topic on Halo. Sorry. Love Death Robots.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about Blade. I was like, God damn, there's 5 Blade movies?
Dracula and Blade was terrible. The Dracula and Blade was terrible. The only thing worse than Blade 3 is Blade the TV show.
Sticky
Fang as y'all playing Blade.
Which one are we talking about?
I don't remember
Episode
5. I like that one
5.
too.
That was the one with like the mercenary guy and the archaeologist or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good. I liked that.
that was fun.
He's
That
fucking
was
pissed
fun.
scared of cats.
Yep.
And there's apparently a lot of them. There's
Yep.
like a whole prison of them.
I like that one. I also like the I did not like the Beyond the Aquila Rift one. That one bothered me.
I
didn't like that one. The one like that was kind of like Mass Effect-y. With the guy in space who kept waking up and then he like crashed off in like the.
Oh
Wait,
yeah.
I didn't like that one.
Yeah,
I didn't
and there
hate
was
it. I
like a
didn't
whole
like it.
space station of like just abandoned and like crashed vehicles and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. You know which one? I oddly enough,
I liked
and
Good Hunting too.
I was
Good
just
Hunting
gonna
too.
say that
was good.
one, the Good Hunting one, where the boy becomes he becomes friends with whatever the fuck they're called, the nine-tailed fox things, Huli Jings or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I don't know if they are in
shapeshifters.
Chinese. I don't know if they are in Chinese. In Japanese, they're effectively kitsune, but I don't know what they are in Chinese.
Sure, but yeah, I mean, okay, but Devin, out of all the episodes of this, would you have
Huli Jing,
expected?
there you go.
Would you have expected that?
Jin Wei? I don't know.
Who cares?
I'm not even gonna try it. I'm trying.
Would you have expected that one to be up there on my list, knowing that I don't watch anime. I mean, it's not that I'm against that style of storytelling.
That was almost closer to like Avatar. That one gave off really Avatar vibes to me. The Last Airbender vibes, which you've never seen.
Right, but how often
show.
how often do you and me actually sit there and talk about like Asian lore and mythology?
Not nearly enough as I'd like.
I mean, it's just not high on my
I just want to
interest list.
Mythology. I just love mythology. Period.
I really do too. But I mean, my more, I guess, not specialized because I'm not a specialist in mythology in the slightest, but I'm more prone to liking Norse and Greek mythology because I mean, I took mythology in high school and that's what we centered ours around.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I want to say out of the episodes that I've watched, because I've watched up to 10 out of, I think there's 18 episodes. Yeah.
Yes.
So I've watched more than half of them. I'd have to say that Good Hunting is probably in my top 3 so far.
I would say Good Hunting is probably my number 2 in terms of story.
Yeah.
Number 1 being Sunny's Edge. Out of the top 10 in terms of story. But in terms of yeah. I mean, it's easily out of all of them is probably in my top 5.
Yeah.
But in terms of story, is probably number 2 to me for me.
I didn't mind the shapeshifter one, the werewolves. I thought the animation in that was fantastic.
That one, that one reminded me of it reminded me of the Resident Evil animated movies. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, I've seen.
It reminded me
2
of that exact same kind of animation style. I really like that one. That nice, crisp CGI animation. It was nice.
And
it was like
it
gave off werewolf vibes to me, like Werewolf the Apocalypse vibes. Like if like 2 werewolves were like in the army.
Yeah.
It kind of gave me those vibes.
Hey man, how do you know the werewolves aren't in the army?
They may be. I didn't like the dump that much. Like it wasn't bad. It was just it was alright.
It was. I knew before they did the whole flashback to what that dog was. I knew there was going to be some sort of trash monster.
Oh, of course.
So,
yeah. Number 11. I really like that one from a story standpoint too. Number 11 was really good. That's the one you stopped right before.
Yeah.
Helping Hand. That one's really good. I like that one. Did not like Fish Night.
Helping Hand. That's the next one that I gotta do. That's the astronaut one out in space or whatever.
Yeah, that one's good.
Right.
that was gonna give you the heebie-jeebies. You're gonna be like, ooh.
All right.
You're gonna cringe a little bit on that one. I already know it.
Ugh. All right, I'm cringing already thinking about it.
Fish Night, that one's whatever. He kind of had it coming. Fish Knight, he kind of had it coming. He's dumb. Lucky 13, that one was really good. Zima Blue, from a story standpoint, it's good. I just didn't like it. But animation wise, storytelling wise, like objective wise, it's good. Like I can't really nitpick it, but I just didn't like it, and that makes sense. Blind Spot, that was just fun. That was like I would have liked to see that one maybe higher up on the list, like earlier in the rotation, because it was just fun to me. Like that one was just a fun one.
So Blind Spot, it's another kind of fun one, like episode 2, the 3 robots.
It's kind of like it's more action packed though.
Okay.
So kind of imagine those same 3 robots with the additional of like a rookie is not the same robot. Just kind of imagine the personality of those same 3 robots in the addition of like another rookie trying to rob a convoy.
Okay.
And hijinks ensue.
I will say Blind Spot is the name of a show that is very entertaining.
It is. I do like that. CBS, right? It's either NBC or CBS. It's one of the two. Blind Spot.
NBC?
NBC, yep. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep, Blind Spot. The tattooed chick.
Yes. So
yeah. I watched the first season of that, and then I stopped watching it.
And for those of you who want to know a little bit more than just the tattooed chick, she's the woman who played Sif in the Thor movies.
Yes.
So, but yeah.
She may have succumbed to the Thanos snap. Who knows?
Well, you know.
The world may never know.
So you got three more episodes to give your little review on, Devin. Because I haven't seen them yet. So
I liked Ice Age. It's so weird. I'm gonna give you the premise of this. So Ice Age.
This is the one with the freezer, right? Because I kind of read ahead about like what the little snippets on Netflix.
They move into a house and it has this freezer. They open it up and it's like completely iced over. They like break some of it out. They pull it, open up. Look, and there's a civilization taking place inside of their freezer, like a little mini civilization.
Like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids scenario. Like they're just little people.
Think like an entire world. Like every time they close the door, like minutes advances the civilization by like years. So like they first look, it's like the Steam Age, and then they close it and they reopen it again, and they're having like a world war. Like nukes are going off in the refrigerator.
Okay, I'm digging it.
And then they close the door again and they open it back up, and then they're like having like Star Wars space battles and shit. It's fun.
At what point do civilization advance so far that they can open up their own damn freezer and get out?
It pretty much advances to the point where there's the civilization, they build like a warp gate, and then they just like warp out, and then they just stare at the empty freezer for a while. Like, you think they're coming back? She's just like, no.
Oh man! All right. I can already tell you that's probably going to be one of my favorite episodes.
That was really funny. I like that one. And then you have alternate histories, which is just basically what would happen if like different ways Hitler's life would have played out, which basically was just I think 6 ways Hitler died in really comical ways.
Okay.
Really funny. Like one came out, like he walked out of art school. Like I think the first one, he walked out of art school. He like bumped into a Girl Scout or something like that. Or it wasn't a girl. She was like a little Jewish girl playing with a yo-yo or something like that. He bumped into her and he like cursed her out, and then he got jumped and beat up by basically beat up by like a mob of Jewish people, and then stabbed. Stabbed and left on the side, of the school, and then he gets hit by a cart at one point, by a horse-drawn cart. Then he gets hit by a meteor, and then he dies.
Whoa! Hold on, he gets hit by a meteor.
He gets hit by a meteor at some point.
Damn.
He dies. He dies. Fucking. I think it was a bunch of Vietnamese hookers.
Well, I mean, that'd be the way to go so far out of all the ones that you've described.
He died. He basically had overdose and died with a bunch of hookers. That was fun.
I mean, that
Yeah,
would be the way I'd want to go out of
that
all
was a
of those
dumb episode,
scenarios.
but it was a fun episode. It was super dumb but super fun. I was just like the whole time I'm just laughing like, all right then. I mean, look at this, Webby. Tell me this ain't fun.
Where are you posting this? What do I look?
SU,
I love
SU
all
General.
of the visual cues we do on Simply Unprofessional.
SU General.
Sorry, ahead of time. Oh, I should have said this at the beginning of the episode. Sorry for the
Spoilers.
insistent coughing. No, I constantly have to keep clearing my throat. I don't like the animation already.
It's like 6 minutes. I know it's super dumb, but it's like 6 minutes. Yeah. It's super dumb, but it's super funny.
I mean, that's how I'd want to go, though, right there.
Same. But yeah.
And then lastly, you have Secret
the
War.
last one is the one I was watching it, but I was doing something else at the time. I wasn't like super paying attention to it. I know that it's basically like a I don't know if it's like it's a Russian army and they're fighting off like shit that looks kind of like they kind of, if I'm not mistaken off the top of my head, they look kind of like the things from the farmers, but not really. They're like a mix between them and fucking like zombies. But yeah, they're fighting them off. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
It's back to the animation style from the Wolves. So I mean, it's really good animation style. Really nice. Yeah. I mean, for what I've seen of it, it looked good. I just didn't watch it down, so I can't really give you too much of the story in depth behind it. But yeah, it looked good.
I'm trying to read a little bit about the reception of Love, Death, and Robots off of their wiki page. I guess, okay. Writing in the Daily Beast, Nick Shager described the series as Black Mirror for the ADD-addled video game crowd. He also went on to praise the show for its diverse affair, rife with violence, humor, and a healthy dose of sensuality. I mean, it's getting an approval rating of 73% on Rotten Tomatoes with a rating of 6.5 out of 10. You know, I've slowly just kind of started having less and less faith in anything Rotten Tomatoes is criticizing. Does that make sense?
I don't read reviews anymore.
Yeah.
I just make my own opinions for everything.
Yep. I agree. See, talking about either TV shows or movies, there are very few people whose opinions would sway me one way or the other, because they know what types of movies or what style of movie or show that would interest me. You are one of those people. Like you said, hey, Webby, this Love, Death, and Robots thing, you should watch this. I sat down, I watched it. So far, I'm not disappointed. Some of the episodes were meh, but okay, now you've lost 15 minutes of your life. Whoop-de-doo.
Right. I mean, at the very least, this is what I was saying about this. Every episode is something to talk about.
Yes. Yeah.
There's something to talk about in every episode. Whether you liked it or you don't, there's something to talk about in every episode. Just about.
I will say Clay is another go-to person for me where, like, he sees a lot of movies. So if I ask him, like, hey, how is a movie? And he comes back with a more so negative review on it, chances are I won't like the movie when I see it either. There have been very few times that has happened where, you know, he'll like a movie and I just fucking don't. I just hated it, or vice versa. my buddy Ross. He's another fantastic, I guess, critic for me to kind of lean on. Otherwise, people are like, "Oh, this movie's fantastic." It's like, no, I don't know, I don't see it. And then I'm the crazy one. Like,
I mean, and then there's those people that like movies are good. Like you'll agree that okay, the movie's good, right? But they see it as it's the best thing ever.
yeah, no,
And it's like, no,
yeah,
it's a good movie. Absolutely, it's a good movie. Would I call it
Like-
the best movie ever? No.
like okay. My buddy Eric always told me that I should not be a movie critic ever because I like all movies for the most part. I always have I always struggle to find something to complain about in a movie because if nothing else, the movies are shiny and entertaining. Even
Yes.
if they're not very in depth story wise, I generally have a good, an entertaining time watching a movie. So he thinks that I would be a terrible critic. Well, I mean, the one time he was very, very wrong, and he agreed with me, was our buddy Chris. He had me watch Old Boy, the original, mind you, not the remake. Fucking dog shit movie. I fucking hated that movie so much, and I told my buddy Chris, I was like, this movie was a waste of my fucking time. It's 2 hours of my life I'm never gonna see again, and I don't even want to think back on it, like, because then I'm wasting even more time of my life. And he thinks I was completely dead wrong. Like, he thinks it's one of the best movies ever.
I like
It's
Old
some
Boy. Is it one of the
classic
best
movie.
movies ever? No.
Like,
I like Old Boy. Is it one of the best movies ever? No. This is the thing about Old Boy.
I
think
don't
a
know
lot
if
of
he
people-
was like calling it like a cult classic, like one of those types of things. I was like, dude,
I
when I
mean,
think
it
cult
definitely
classic,
is a cult
like,
classic. Sure,
Donnie Darko to me, cult classic.
it's a cult
movie.
classic. Yeah,
Okay, now that entertaining movie. Okay,
yeah.
Old Boy.
I will say this:
dog
Old Boy.
shit. Old Boy
No,
had
Old Boy.
one
Old
scene
Boy is
that was decent.
probably. Old Boy is actually probably what it would fall firmly in kind of the cult classic realm.
Nah,
But I would say it's a cult classic with a acquired taste. Like
it's a cult should never have been made.
This is the thing about Old Boy. This is what I tell anybody that watches Old Boy. I recommend Old Boy to people. This is what I always tell them. I say, watch the first 20 minutes of Old Boy. If you're not hooked in the first 20 minutes, turn it off. It's not for you.
You know what I tell people about Old Boy? Go on YouTube, type in Old Boy hallway scene. Just watch that, and then you're done. That's the only
that's
scene
it.
you need to
That's
see.
it. You know what movie I always tell people? I'm like, if you want to see what Old Boy should have been, watch The Raid.
I don't even know if I've seen The Raid.
If you haven't seen The Raid and the Raid Redemption, well, The Raid Redemption and the Raid 2, you need to watch.
I'm
all the
not
Raid
sure.
movies.
I'm not sure I'm ever going to watch anything that's remotely even compared to Old Boy. Like, I don't trust it. I don't.
No.
It came out of the same sentence in your mouth, so I feel like
I
The Raid
said-
has now
no,
been
this is-
tainted with Old Boy dog
Webby.
shit.
Webby. I said, if you want to see what Old Boy could have / should have been, The Raid is it. In terms of, if you like the scene of him in the hallway, The Raid is that pretty much for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what The Raid is. I can break down what The Raid is. It is literally it's a SWAT team. I think it's a Korean movie. SWAT team that
Great.
Goes into basically to take out a gang boss. Think have you seen the new actually exactly what they stole the plot kind of from this movie. The new Judge Dredd,
Yes.
where they went inside of the tower to take down the crime boss and they get locked down in the tower.
Yeah, Cersei.
It's that without superhuman people. So you have a SWAT team that goes in basically into like an abandoned apartment complex, like high rise,
Wait, who was superhuman in Judge Dredd?
with Judge Dredd. I mean,
He
like,
wasn't superhuman.
He's not superhuman, but he's Judge Dredd.
Him just a dude with a gun.
He's Judge Dredd.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Judge Dredd in the comic books killed Death. He was one of the Harbingers.
Hey.
He's Judge Dredd. All right, like He's not superhuman, but he's Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Enough said.
I mean, legit, straight up.
Judge Dredd, enough said.
Yeah, he's Judge Dredd. There you go. Yeah, that movie, it literally is that them trying to escape it the whole time. So
Well, I've
it's like
seen Judge
him
Dredd, so that's good.
going to the top, him going to the top of the tower, and then coming back down from the top of the tower. Basically, it started off as a team, but basically one man fighting his way through a bunch of criminals. And it's a great movie, worth watching.
You know, what was another good movie?
What?
That one with Stone Cold Steve Austin on the island with all the prisoners.
Not the Redemption. I know what you're talking about. Fucking with the bombs in her head. That was also stolen off a Japanese movie, but we're gonna get to that later.
Did they have bombs in their head? Yeah, they did.
I think on their neck. Stone Cold film.
Yeah, that was stolen off of Battle Royale.
Yep. The Condemned. There we go.
The Condemned. Hey, I liked that movie. I don't know.
It was a good movie. It was a really good movie. I did not like the one with Randy Orton.
I haven't seen the one with Randy Orton.
They made Condemned 2, and with Randy Orton, I didn't like it.
Just another situation where a sequel was not needed.
Yeah.
But so yeah, now we're just getting on a rant about movies. Fucking Old Boy. Fuck that thing.
I also posted the hallway fight scene in from Raid Redemption in chat for you.
Okay, I'll have to. I will give the one hallway clip a chance. I'm pretty sure that's how Chris suckered me in too. He's like, "Oh yeah, just watch Old Boy." I was like, "This movie doesn't even sound really interesting." Then he showed me the one hallway scene. I was like, "All right, I'll watch it." Yeah, that was just all. You should have just said, "Yeah, just watch this one scene. You're good."
Yeah, no.
Fucking Old Boy makes my head hurt. Useless. Devin, how up to date are you with like current events? I say current events. This is like maybe a month old now. It's something that I've been wanting to rant about, but I haven't.
What?
I haven't
What's up?
remembered.
Talk to me.
Okay, have you heard this story? I don't know, it either happened out west or down south somewhere about these girls being accepted into the Boy Scouts.
Yes, I've heard on and off about that. Yep.
Now I'm going to preface this for the listeners out there. I have zero problem with girls joining the Boy Scouts. I mean, I'm curious as to why you would want to. You have your own set of scouts. And second off, why would you want to be a Boy Scout when the Girl Scouts are the superior treat sellers? They got Girl Scout cookies. Boy Scouts, we had to sell that fucking. We had to sell those fucking popcorn tins. Okay, I was a Boy Scout.
Like, and nuts. You sell popcorn and nuts. That like, in trail mix. Like,
yeah, and nobody. You got pity. You got
pity buys.
Pity buys from family members. That's it. Or really old people who wanted the cool tins.
I will say this though. I will say this though. It will say this. If you compare the curriculum of Girl Scouts to Boy Scouts.
No, okay, I can understand. Yes, I understand. Like the Boy Scouts do some cool shit, and if girls want to go camping, if girls want to go,
there's also advancement. Like Boy Scouts.
Right.
You go. What is it? Cub Scouts.
I mean, the Girl Scouts they had brownies.
Eagle Scouts,
right?
They start at brownies, but then once you get to Girl Scout, I mean that's kind of I think it. You have the brownies and you go to Girl Scouts. Once you do the Girl Scouts, it's kind of it if I'm not mistaken. I know you go to Eagle Scouts with Boy Scouts. You go to Eagle Scouts, and that's when you start doing like really cool shit.
Yeah, but I think even then, I think after that, there's not a whole lot left for like advancement wise.
Well, usually after that, you either can choose to be like a mentor.
I was like,
but I think Eagle Scouts are up to 15 or 16.
I was. Like, you start off as, like, a Cub Scout. And then you go to, like, Weeblos, which was a fucking weird fucking name for a thing.
Weeblos!
And then you had, like, what, Bobcats or some shit like that. And then Boy Scouts. I forget the order. I went through all that when I was a kid. And don't get me wrong. Yeah. Okay, it's cool. Like, okay. My thing is...
So like here, just to give you some ideas real quick. So like for like once you hit the
I gotta you talk. I need to write this down because you talking is gonna make me forget my point here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like once you hit Eagle Scouts, like just to give you an idea of what you can do past that point. First off, Eagle Scouts, they have multiple different scholarships they get offered. $3,000 NESA scholarship, $2,500 Mebel Lawrence as Cook scholarship, $25,000 scholarship, $48,000, $50,000 scholarship, and then also adult Eagle Scouts. Eagle Scouts who enlist in the U.S. Armed Forces may receive additional enlistment rank in recognition of their achievement. I mean, so you definitely can. There's definitely places to take.
Yeah,
it carries more weight. Like honestly,
fine.
once you become a Girl Scout, I don't think there's much after being a Girl Scout. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I'm not opposed to the Girl Scouts being allowed to do any of the curriculum that the Boy Scouts can do, or get any of the, I guess, career advancement / benefits that being a Boy Scout would give you. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, okay, like I remember in Boy Scouts, dude, we made fucking Pinewood Derby cars. Okay? Now, if Girl Scouts don't do that, but they want to, sure, then fucking get that into the Girl Scouts. Let them make Pinewood Derby cars. If they want to make shit, let them make shit. Whatever. I don't know too much about what they do in the Girl Scouts. In fact, Ross, his mom is heavily involved with all the Girl Scouts. Maybe I'll actually sit down and talk to her about all this too. But here's my overall arcing point. I have no problem with them allowing girls into the Boy Scouts. Okay? It did confuse me at first because, like I said, they have the Girl Scouts. Now, there was a troop of girls who were accepted into the Boy Scouts, okay, and then immediately made an all-girls troop and did not allow boys into their troop of Boy Scouts. This I have a problem with. Now you're just essentially bringing girls over, making it exclusively girls, but calling yourself Boy Scouts. There's no boys involved. You are Girl Scouts. That's what you are. Okay?
Yeah. No, I mean, no. I do agree. I definitely do agree. I think
like if it's all about, oh, well, we want to do what they do. Fine, join. I don't care. You can have there's nothing stating that either one should be segregated from the other.
I agree.
But don't join one and then make it exclusively for that gender.
And then don't join one and then segregate.
Yes.
But this is what I'm going to say. I think from a high-level overview, what needs to be done, again, this is a high-level overview. I don't know about how the semantics will work out in this. Just like going to the Armed Forces kind of example, there are same curriculum, standards, the physical qualification standards, things may differ based on gender and whatnot. But they should just sit around the board and say, you know what? Why don't we just redesign the Girl Scout
curriculum
and the Boy Scouts
curriculum
to be a Scouts curriculum? Like, it's the same thing. The Scouts.
The Scouts.
You're the Scout. You're a Boy Scout. You're a Girl Scout. And, you may have a troop that's all boys, troops all girls. You could have, and it's up to the parents at that point where you can be in a all boy troop, an all girl troop, or you can be in a mixed troop. It really doesn't matter. Right. However you want it to be. It doesn't matter. If you are, let's say, at 5 and 6 years old, a Boy Scout, Girl Scout troop, or a Scout troop being combined of boys and girls, not a big deal. But I mean, if they hit the age of 13 or 14, you may want to say, you know what, let's segregate that. Just
right.
For
otherwise, the first camping trip, otherwise the first camping trip they go on, all the Girl Scouts are coming back mommies.
Pretty much. Like let's so you can do that decision, or it's just going to be the logistics is going to be kind of crazy there.
Yeah. I hear you.
Like, I understand that. So I mean, like, I'm all for that, but I think what needs to be done is just breaking down the fact of the question needs to get asked of, well, why do the Girl Scouts want to join the Boy Scouts? Is it just because the Girl Scouts join the Boy Scouts just because they want to join because on paper they can't or they couldn't, or is it because they actually want a new curriculum? If they want a new curriculum, readjust the curriculum.
Right.
I think the curriculum needs to be readjusted across the board. It should be a Scouts curriculum, not just a Boy Scouts curriculum and a Girl Scouts curriculum. It should be a Scouts curriculum where the Girl Scouts are learning the same thing the Boy Scouts are learning. That kind of thing. If that's what you want it to be. I mean, obviously, you have when you have hobbies, kind of like your hobby trees that you kind of learn and things like that can differ because obviously guys and girls have different interests. Broadly speaking. Not necessarily true across the board, but broadly speaking.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's more so what you could probably do with that. I think it just needs to sit down and be a conversation of, well, why? Why does it... Asking why is not a bad question. I think people just need to ask why.
Right.
Well, why do you want to join? Is it... If you want to join and make a statement, statement's made. Cool. If you want to join because of the curriculum issue, then, hey, 100% behind that, probably we need to do that. Let's sit down, work curriculum, and where the Girl Scouts aren't just showing up to be freaking drug dealing cookie people, which is effectively what they are.
Girl Scout cookies is crack.
They are, man. Which is effectively what they are. And I think that's kind of what the public perception of Girl Scouts are. Like, oh, they're my cookie crack dealer. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, that's kind of what they are. And it's like, and I get that. And you look at Boy Scouts, it's, you think of Boy Scouts, you think of learning how to tie knots.
Yep.
You
need some knots tied.
That's the first thing that pops to mind. Knots. Oh, learning how to tie knots. Or, oh, hey, you can take down my flag for me. You know how to properly fold an American flag.
Let me ask you this, Devin. Were you ever in the Boy Scouts or like the Cub Scouts or any of those?
I was for a very short period of time, like not any type of significant time, just because I grew up fairly poor and could not afford the dues.
Same. Now, I will say I was in all of the Scouts leading up to Boy Scouts.
Well, I will say this. I could not afford the dues, but at the same time, I was also taking Taekwondo, and basically, I was taking Taekwondo, and I was in baseball. They were like, okay, we can't afford all of this. Pick one. Right. And I was like...
I will say I was in all of the various Scout things. I still have some of my books, too, which is fucking weird. Up until I became a Boy Scout, and then... I think I stuck with that for
Scoutmaster Webby.
Half a year maybe, and then I ended up bailing. But I will say, one of my highlight/proudest moments in the Boy Scouts when I reached Boy Scouts was we were having there was this big Boy Scout get together where a bunch of different troops. It was like an outing or whatever. It was on the other side of the river in the same town that I live in. And it was taking place at a church. And outside, tied between two trees when I got there, were two strings with a bunch of other strings tied in various ways. It looked like a spider web almost, in between two strings. Okay? Now, each troop had to go through this, and we were like the fourth one that had to do it, and we were all just standing around watching these people. Now, the rule... There is only one rule, essentially, and that's if you go through one of the holes, because you were supposed to get your entire troop to the other side of the trees. And if you went through a hole, that hole closed, and you could not use that hole anymore. Okay? So as we were watching, right, and anybody who was like a bigger guy like me took the bottom. They went underneath the thing, that hole closed. Okay? Because it's super easy that way. The littlest person usually got tossed up and over the top, and then you weren't allowed to use the top anymore, and then you were supposed to, essentially we watched these other teams feed their other troop members through these various holes. So as we're watching, right, I decided, I talked with a couple of my troop mates, and we decided we were going to try something to see if they would be allowed, because they did not specify. They just said once you go through, that hole closes. Okay, so what I did, I walked over, and I stood underneath, half on one side, half on the other.
And held it up.
And I essentially held it there, and then the rest of my troop just went underneath. And then I went off to the rest, and then I went to the other side. And we ended up winning because the judge had not seen that done before, and he liked that problem solving.
I mean, I will, but to argue in the fact that you shouldn't have won, even though you didn't go through, the first person that went through it technically closed it for everybody else.
Nah, I don't remember.
I'm just saying about the rules.
There was a specific wording where it worked out that way.
Or like the first person who like crosses the threshold when he leaves it or whatever, it closes or some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't remember how it was worded, but it ended up working out.
There you go. Leave it to Webby to break the system.
I mean, maybe. So
I like it, Webby. I like it. I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my little rant. Anyway, I'm done ranting, and I'm done, and we're done this episode, Devin. It's been a little over an hour.
It's been a little over an hour. Oh boy.
All right, Love, Death, and Robots, people. We recommend it. It's not for kids.
Some episodes are kid-ish friendly.
Well, I mean, you're going to have language on those ones.
Language. Probably, I think the most probable kid-friendly one in terms of, and I'm not talking like a young kid, but I'm like, I'm probably
the farmer one.
The 3 robots or the farmer one?
Nah, the 3 robots one has some serious language issues.
As language, yeah, but I mean, if language is an issue, 3 robots is safe. Farmers are safe. Yogurt's safe.
Yeah, yogurt one wasn't bad. They probably just won't understand it.
No. Let me see.
Fuck it, have them watch the first episode. Just let them sit down and watch. Just make some popcorn. Let your kids sit down with you.
Ice Age is also safe.
All of them are safe. You know what?
They're all safe.
Uncle Webby says all of them are safe.
You know what? I'm not going to tell you how to raise your kid. So you raise your kid the way you want to raise your kid.
We don't talk about Uncle Carl's who can.
Especially Uncle Carl's who can.
All right, Devin, where can people find you on the internet?
You guys can find me on the Twitters at DMP_Pookie and on Twitch at PooKilledMe and on eBay at Heavy Metal Man 5.
God damn it. God damn it. You threw me off. You guys can follow me on Twitter at JaxForestWalker, all one word. On Twitch at DMWebby, on Instagram at Patrick.Webster52, and on eBay looking for Heavy Metal Man 5. So yeah. Hey, Devin, that was a good episode. Fuck it.
I'm down.
Until next time, everybody.
Pantera.
Well, I mean, that's not usually our sign off, but sure, Pantera. Pantera would fuck up Booster Gold in a heartbeat.
He would.
They'd be like, what kind of fucking lame ass
superhero? Dimebag would beat him with a bag of dimes.
That's a true statement. A sock of dimes. Sock just filled with dimes. Oh, that would hurt. Brings back memories of Full Metal Jacket.
I kind of want to be a professional wrestler and use that as a finishing move and just call it the $5 slap.